Alright guys, it's your boy Black Uchiha, 3 long face, skinny body, and we back still black with some more fire Boruto manga content. You already know what time it is, so let's hop straight to the business and waste no time.
9 mountains and 8 seas make one world. 1,000 worlds make one chiliocosm. 1 chiliocosm to the power of 3, and there's nothing I can't cut.
I'm gonna be 100% completely honest with you. I am very frustrated right now. Why? Because this is my second time recording this damn spoiler videos. Apologize for the profanity in this regard, but it's my second time recording this damn spoiler video. The first video after I got done editing it wouldn't upload, wouldn't do nothing but just stare at me, right? I couldn't download it off of the software that I usually edit my videos on. So I was like, balls to the walls. We're just gonna drop the raw, unedited version. So I started uploading that to YouTube, and long behold, chat, guess what? It don't want to upload to YouTube either. So we're gonna keep this very condensed because honestly and truly, right? Emotional heightened feelings aside, it's not that much going on in the spoilers. It's really not that much. And that's one of the things I pointed out in the original video, right, chat? I talked about all of the spoiler points that we got from the text leak. Shout out to @BorutoTBV106 because he condensed the text spoilers in a manner that I appreciated very much. 2 simple screenshots. So I'm going to be showing it to y'all here on the screen. And for the most part, right, we already talked about Konohamaru-chan is the name of the chapter, chapter 19, and it seems to be very focused heavily in the emotional aspect on Konohamaru, people like Yodo, and even people like Araya, and obviously Matsuri, right? Matsuri is infuriated because she's like, why is Moegi the only person who could call you Konohamaru, right? They're sprinkling in all of these bits and pieces throughout the chapter, and Konohamaru is very confused. I don't even think, according to the spoilers, he has any dialogue. He is simply in shock by how infuriated Matsuri is, right? And then also sprinkled in there, which we see, we got the second, actually the same day today that we got the leak spoilers, we got the second official sneak peek, which is a flashback page of Yodo, Shinki, and Araya, right? And it just brings everything to light. Because Yodo is there, but Shinki and Araya are talking, and Araya is trying to let Shinki know something in regards to paying more attention to Yodo, and Shinki's letting Araya know something in regards to he pays too much attention to Yodo. So we get the typical, and as I mentioned in the previous video, the OG Team 7 feels, right? Because Shinki don't care about nobody but the mission. Yodo don't care about nobody but Shinki, and Araya don't care about nobody but Yodo. It's a real crazy type of messed up triangle they got going on, but everything is being brought to light. Araya has to accept his feelings that they won't be reciprocated, and Yodo has to accept her feelings that they won't be reciprocated by their respective parties. So even moving forward throughout the spoilers, we got situations where we got Sagemo Mitsuki trapping Ryu, grabbing Ryu. Ryu's doing all of these abilities, and one of the main things that I noticed throughout the spoilers, he has the ability to turn his body, not only like, you know what I'm saying, into sand, but he can use those sand grain pieces to pull out claw marks. So imagine someone just dissipating in front of you, but not only do they dissipate, but amongst the dust, a random Frieza-like being just pops up out of nowhere. So I really like how they're using his claw mark abilities. With Hidari, we see that he's able to use his Rinnegan to summon claw marks, and thus through those claw marks, the claw grinds pop out of. With Jiren, I don't really know how we can say, but just a guess, because we've seen him pop out through a claw grind's back. So that big old black cloth piece on his chest where we see he's able to pull out books, he's able to pull out documents and things that he needs, most likely he'll probably reach deep down and pull out a claw arm or two and launch them at you. Now in terms of Matsuri, it wasn't clear because when we've seen her battling Gaara, the claw arms were already there behind her ready to attack on her command. So we don't know how she summons her claw arms, but now we see how Ryu is able to summon his claw arms essentially through the iron sand through any way or any means necessary how he fits. So in the middle of this fight, bro, we have Araya holding his own. And I told y'all, we're going to see Araya do a little 1-2-1-2. We're going to have Sarada and Mitsuki, the likes of those, play the back, at least for the first half of this fight, because they're going to be the key into figuring out how to get the one-up on Ryu's jutsu once Araya fails. And we see in this case, Ryu basically did the move behind the hidden move because he was able to get Araya to stab that blade into a claw arm, hence getting stuck, and then he immediately teleported that claw arm off the battlefield. So no more sword, and that is going on towards the end of the chapter. So leading into chapter 20, no sword to protect them from being controlled by Ryu's sand. So now it's free reigns in terms of Ryu can simply grow the grain of sand throughout the air, and it can start controlling all the body parts of you, simply like a puppet master with this chakra strings, and no one will be able to do anything about it. Now Sarada's and her Sharingan, it will be a cute way, basically a minute or detailed way to counteract Ryu's essentially iron sand, and in a simpler sense where she can use her Sharingan to pinpoint the invisible spots where people won't necessarily be able to see or sense the iron sand around them, similar how they were the first time they got caught by surprise. But with Sarada's Sharingan active, she might be able to pinpoint its exact location, similarly how she was able to do so in the Boruto fight when finding out that his jutsu was essentially a virus. So Sarada's Sharingan, Sarada's patience is going to be key. She has a couple of great moments here in the spoilers. So like I said, the fight which will actually be going down, the main action in this chapter appears to be between Sarada, Araya, Mitsuki, and that whole group versus Ryu, and we get that throughout the chapter, whereas Matsuri and Konohamaru don't essentially come to terms of trading blows as of yet. Now, even in the chapter, we got Kosh and Koji trying to keep everything up to date. Boruto's trying to see what's going down in the battlefield. He's letting known that, okay, Sara and them are holding their own against Ryu, which is actually pretty great. That's sound news. Now, Konohamaru is not necessarily he's getting overpowered. He's simply selling the ball. He's not up to par. He's not cutting it, and he's not making the cut. Simply as that, because he's folding, and before they even got to throw any punches or jutsus, he's on the back end, and he's basically in danger's eye right now, because Kashikoji is basically telling Boruto it's not looking too good, but you can't step out there to help Konohamaru regardless of the situation. We already understand where that happens. Now, one thing I noticed, guys, we got no Amato and we got no Kawaki. According to the text leaks, right? No Amato and no Kawaki. So stay tuned, man. Like, stay tuned. It's getting real shaky. And people were talking about Boruto popping up, saving Mitsuki and Sarada. It looks like Konohamaru might get saved or just ended up inside of that grave, right? And I anticipated a possible Moegi return, a possible defeat of Matsuri this chapter. Obviously, it was a long and a far reach of a theorized or a guess or a prediction for the upcoming chapter, but Matsuri is about to turn up in chapter 20. So it looks like chapter 19 is going to be mainly about Sage Mode, Mitsuki, Ryu. They're going back and forth, and we even got a couple of panels, right, according to these texts, of the other Shinju back in their hideout. So Jure, Hidari, and Mamushi, they're going to be talking and discussing things. So I'm really looking forward to it. A real calm before the storm chapter, not as much of a setup chapter as the previous, because like I said, we got a whole lot of action sprinkled throughout the chapter between the whole battle against Ryu. So I'm looking forward to those panels and how beautiful they look and how they actually come to fruition in terms of Araya's sword being brought off the battlefield, so an effective counter against Ryu. So how are they going to be able to come up and one up against Ryu, and is his strength simply too overwhelming, or would it be the hacks of his jutsu that gives him the ultimate edge against our shinobi? And if that's the case, like, hey guys, it's looking like it might be turn up season in terms of the fight in general. So I'm not sure how chapter 20 is going to take the focus, if they just might shift from Ryu and them and we might not see them, and then simply focus on Konohamaru, Matsuri, and then splash in some Kawaki and Amato scenes. But it's real interesting. I'm looking forward for the full chapter 19 spoilers. It's your boy Black Uchiha. Let me know y'all thoughts on these spoilers. Holla at your boy. I'm gonna holla at y'all. Black Uchiha out. Yes sir. Ski.